Hello and welcome to Jesus for Asia Now. I'm Natalie Wood, and today my husband John and I want to take you to India and introduce you to a couple of our Bible workers there. Hello, dear.
Hi, darling. How are you?
Doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Excited about the show today.
Yes.
Because every time we see these Bible workers and go visit them, I'm amazed at their heart and their life and their stories that they have, and really excited about what we'll be sharing today, what we'll be taking our viewers to today.
Yes. You know, here at Jesus for Asia, we have over 50 projects in 6 different countries. And so there's a lot of different work, but what we started with is the Bible workers.
That's right. In the very beginning, in 2005, we started by hiring some Bible workers in India.
And that's been the heart of our work. And actually, they've captured our hearts as well, because we are it's so humbling, actually, to see how dedicated they are. And what they've gone through. So many of them have amazing testimonies. And we're going to hear some today.
Very inspiring.
Right. They're very cost effective as well. They don't have to learn the language. They already know the culture, how to live there.
And those are big things. I mean, for me to learn the culture would take 5, 10, 20 years.
And you still might not understand every nuance.
And I would kind of stand out with my skin color.
Right.
So I'd be treated differently.
Right. They also don't have to have a plane ticket to get there because they've grown up there.
You know, just a plane ticket from America would sponsor a Bible worker for about a year. And so just they're already there, and also learning the language. It would take me at least a year or 2 years to learn the language.
Some of the languages. Some are quite a bit more difficult than that.
That one might take longer. They've got how many characters in the alphabet?
We've been told different numbers, but at least
between 238 and 300 letters. In the alphabet. We've got 26.
Not that English is easy either.
No.
But there are different complications, I think, in each language.
In Tamil. In the place we're going to today, there's like 238 characters in the alphabet. So to learn that language and become effective is a huge challenge for a foreigner. Not to say that there's no place in the world for the foreign missionary. There's still 6,000 unreached people groups in the world. There's still a lot of need for foreign missionaries. But in India, the local missionary, they've got the Bible, they've got the word of truth, they know Jesus, they've got a good, strong church support system there. So in this country, it's very effective to just enable them. It doesn't mean that we don't go there anymore, because we can go and encourage and provide.
Lift up their hands.
Exactly. But them going on a day-to-day basis, going out and meeting their neighbors and praying with their neighbors and entering their neighbors' houses, and their neighbors seeing what the gospel looks like in their own culture is powerful work. And they do a wonderful work.
And the stories that we're going to share today exemplify that really powerfully. And each Bible worker, on average, brings one person to Christ per month. I know, that just is amazing to me.
Yeah, it's exciting. We don't really track baptisms because we've seen that number kind of get abused. But this is the reports we're hearing. And it's so exciting to think about what that's going to look like when we get to heaven.
And Jesus for Asia, we don't sponsor the Bible workers, but we enable other people to sponsor them. We send the funds directly to the church in India, and they pay the workers. So it's a hand-in-hand
partnership.
And it's only $100 a month to sponsor them.
That's less than a car payment.
And 100% of the sponsorship funds go to India to pay the workers.
We've decided not to take any cost out of that, any funds out of the donations for Bible workers for overhead here in America. We just really want all the funds possible to go and support them in doing what they do best. And most of these Bible workers would work for Christ even without pay, but this monthly stipend allows them to focus on taking the gospel. So all day long they can be knocking on doors, in the evening they can be sharing and giving Bible studies. It just enables them to be full-time missionaries.
And they work hard. And they work from early till late many times. And they pray, and that's one thing we want to mention. That they pray for us, and they pray for the donors. They pray for the people that care about them over here. And that's such a blessing and a privilege to think about them praying for us.
Yeah. And a lot of them, they're not just doing outreach and new Bible work. What they're doing is they've become pastors, and many of them have several churches that they shepherd. So on top of the taking care of the churches, then they're doing the outreach, and some of them are even overseeing evening schools for our children's evening schools. And so they're a vital part of this work.
Right.
Yeah.
So who is the first Bible worker we're going to meet?
It's Susanna.
Susanna.
Yep.
Now, does she have any children or a family?
Yeah, she's got 3 kids. They're mostly grown up, and so she's able to focus full-time on her Bible work.
Wow.
And she takes care of 2 churches, but we're going to go and visit the one village called Dolly.
Dolly, okay. And we have some pictures and video.
Yep.
So we want to go ahead and start into the pictures?
Yep. The first thing I noticed when I went to her village is all the white birds, which makes sense because, as you can see from this aerial shot, it's surrounded by coconut trees.
Okay.
Just lots and lots of, just coconut trees almost as far as your eyes can see.
Wow. So now we're moving into the village. We're looking closely at the people, right?
Yes.
This is some of the people from the village?
That's right. We're just walking down Main Street and took some pictures of these ladies, and these are the people in that village.
Okay. And this is the church building?
This is her church. And when we first found it over 10 years ago, it was closed and locked up.
I know.
And you remember that because you went there.
Yes, and it's such an amazing thing to see what God has done. There wasn't the funding. The local conference just didn't have the funding after someone else sponsored the church to be built to keep it going. And it's so sad because we see that so many places.
I know. And so we were looking to do evangelism.
Right.
And we thought, well, instead of raising money to build a church in a new village, why don't we just reopen this church?
Right. And that way we're re-empowering them to be in that village again.
Exactly.
It's not like we're starting something new that's going to take years and years and years to be built up and then have to finance a church as well.
Yeah, because the seeds had been planted there. Right. There were still church members that came to us and says, are you going to open this church again? Yeah. In fact, there was one church where when they went in, they found a bag stuffed full of money. And they're like, where did this come from? And the lady came up to him and says, oh, we have been taking our tithe throughout the years and taking it into the church and stuffing it in there, hoping someday somebody would come and take our tithe.
Wow. Wow.
So anyway, she is there in this church.
Wow.
And the church is growing and thriving, and you're going to hear her own stories.
Right. Right. Now you have a fascination, it seems, with tile roofs, because I know our next video.
Yeah, this roof is kind of unique because it looks really cheap and kind of rickety, but it allows the circulation to come through these churches.
Right, but then they fall apart easily.
They tend to fall apart.
They are cheap, and
the new
so now they're replacing them
with the metal roofs.
Okay.
With like an open,
like a vented thing in the top.
Yeah, because the sun hits it and it gets hot down there.
Wow.
So that vent is nice.
Okay, let's play that video now.
Okay.
Hello, Sister Totro. Unga பேரு நீங்க எந்த இடத்துல ஊழியம் பண்றீங்க?
என் பேர் Susanna. நான் Dali Vallagundapuram.
My name is Susanna. I'm working in the place called Dali and Vallagundapuram. These 2 places I'm taking care of the churches.
அதுல ஒரு 2000 குடும்பம் எல்லாம் இருக்கும். ஆனா பயங்கரமான Hindus.
And this particular place called Vallagundapuram, it is full of Hindus, very strong Hindu background. And she says there are nearly about 2,000 families in this village. And she's telling it's very difficult to work over there because they call Christians like these people are the people who change your religion. So be careful of these people. And that one particular man, he's very much against Christianity. He's like a leader in that area. One day what he did, he came in search of her to beat her because she is proclaiming the Bible, the gospel. He's very much against to her, and that day she was not there, so he went to the lady's house who is kind of a deacon in the church, And he went and threatened her. Where is your pastor, that lady who is roaming here with the Bible? I wanted to beat her. I wanted to fix her. But the next day what he did, came to the church, he broke all the windows. And he broke the lock. The next Sabbath when she went, she was not able to open the lock because it was completely broken and it was jammed. And this man, one day she saw her face to face and he told her, I'm going to kill you. If you keep doing this one, your life is in a big threat. So don't do this one. Don't take the Bible and proclaim in this village. You go wherever you want, but not here.
அப்போ அன்னைக்கு பார்த்து நான் கொஞ்சம் லேட்டாக போயிட்டேன். எப்போவுமே 9:30க்கு போயிடுவேன். அது ஒயிட் வாஷ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. 9:30க்கு போய்.
What happened? The next Sabbath, he came to the church in search of me. But that particular day, what happened? Since the bus was late, I was going little late. 9:30 I went to church. That time they were cleaning the church because of some program in the church. And after the cleaning, those people, they came and told me, that man just came and was searching for you. So they all knelt and prayed in the church that same day. The very next day, he was going in on a bike. He met with an accident. He broke his legs. He came home. She went and prayed for him in the home. After that, she is not a threat now. She's going, praying for him, and his legs are not healed, but there is no more threat for her. She thanked the Lord for that.
Amazing story, isn't it?
Yes.
How a man that was threatening to kill her now become her friend because she forgave him. She didn't hold his attitude against him, but when he had a need, she went and prayed for him.
Yes. Wow. And to see the tears on the people's faces as they're praying with her, it just shows how vital it is, how much they need that friendship and that caring that she's giving them.
Oh, yes. We think of it as a program. We think of it as numbers of baptisms. We think of it as, expanding the kingdom. But when you go there and you see, it's more than that. It's caring for people. It's people finding hope. It's people finding encouragement. It's vital for them. And you just...
Hope for eternity. Hope for eternity.
Yeah, that's right. Because their religion in India says that you're going to have hundreds of thousands of lives ahead of this one.
And you've had a bunch in the past already.
Yes. And so to think about that you can go to heaven and that Jesus, here is a God that likes you, that cares about you, that finds value in you. That's mind-blowing stuff.
And he's willing to answer their prayers.
Yes, and he does.
Yes, in amazing ways.
Yes.
Amazing miracles.
Exactly. And that's one of the things I love about being there is that they don't have a lot of possessions. They don't have a lot of stuff. They earn less than $100 a month. So they don't have a lot.
Right.
But they've got faith.
Right.
And they know how to pray. And a lot of times I don't understand what they're praying, but I just love to hear their heart when they call out to God.
Right. And they have a lot of determination too. They keep going. I mean, we have other stories we're going to be sharing, so I don't want to give them away in this show, but to see her bravery, to keep going there, knowing this man had said, I'm going to kill her.
Right.
It's just...
This lady, she could have asked for a transfer. She could have said, you know what, I don't need this money. I think she has a husband that takes care of them financially. She doesn't need to do this. But her heart is in it. We had one of our Bible workers that quit because of some family requirements. And she was gone for a month or two, and she came back. She says, I have to do this. I miss the light. I miss the light that I feel when I'm sharing the gospel with my neighbors. I have to do this. Please.
Hire me back again.
Yes.
Wow.
It's exciting.
What a blessing.
It is a huge blessing.
Yeah.
And to be a part of that. And to think that, us as donors might get even a little fraction of the stars that are going to be in their crowns.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah.
And there's hundreds more Bible workers out there that are willing to come and work for us if we have more sponsors.
Right. And many areas of the country are always asking for more workers.
Absolutely.
And it's hard to say wait. And it's hard to say no. We don't want to say no.
No.
Because it's souls for the kingdom. It's souls for heaven. Yes. It's friends for eternity.
This is the only chance we'll get. Very soon, when Jesus comes again, we'll never have another chance to bring somebody out of sin into light.
Well, we want to travel now from Susanna's village to another village and meet another Bible worker who used to be an independent Pentecostal pastor.
Yes, which is an amazing story. And this is what happens. We planted a seed 10 years ago, and out of that seed, some people got baptized, and they met other people who met other people, and now they've connected with this man who had a church. He had his own church, Pentecostal pastor, and this is the way a lot of them work, is they'll go out and they'll start planting the seeds and they'll get converts, and the converts will then support them, and they will build their own church and have their own church members and get their living from that church.
Right, so it makes it hard for them to go under another church or organization. We've seen that over and over again.
Yes.
That once they're an independent pastor, they like the money that they earn.
Yeah, and even if we come into their territory, they start resenting us and working against us because we're taking away their income, their
livelihood.
Sheep. Yeah.
Right.
But this man was totally different. He heard about the Sabbath and he got excited about it.
Right. And I think we should play the video so we don't give away the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that. We're here in southern India. We just finished worship in a church right behind me. Yeah, it's a rather large church for this part of the world, for Seventh Adventist Church. And it's got a very interesting story of how it came to be a Seventh Adventist church.
Pastor Padmanapan.
My name is Pastor Padmanapan. I'm working in the place called Krishnapuram. I was working in the military as a police, and after that I came to know about Jesus and I became a Christian. The place where right now I'm working is full of Hindus. When I first started this work of the ministry as a Christian, there was so many opposition. And God told me, anything which comes against you will not affect you. If one comes in one way, I will split into 7 ways and that will go off from you. Since I was a military man and I have the promise of the Lord, I've got this courage to do the work of the Lord amidst this lot of problematic areas, amidst these Hindus people. They said there is a man who have come to capture people for Christianity. Don't allow him inside this village. Wherever I went, there were devil possessions. We prayed and devil flee from those people. God was blessing my ministry like that. In my church, members were gathering, added up. We were worshipping on Sundays. But one time, one lady called Manogri, she came and told us about this remnant truth, about this Sabbath truth.
She alerted some of our JFA Bible workers about his openness. And so 3 of our Bible workers, Pastor Thomas, Sister Jennifer, and Sister Susan, came and started meeting with him and conducted Bible studies over the course of several months. And he was so excited about this new truth that he was finding. He says, I've never heard this before. This is so wonderful. I'm so happy to know this new truth.
The Bible says in Genesis chapter 2 verse 3, if you observe the Sabbath and keep it holy, God will bless you. I was moved by this message which I have not heard in my life before. I accepted that message.
And he says, but if I come and accept the truth, then my church, my members won't understand and they'll all leave. And so he says, let's do this wisely. And they did Bible studies for several months, and then he and his wife were baptized. And then he kept preaching in his church, and then he started inviting the Bible workers to preach in his church on Sundays. And over the course of a year or 2, almost his entire congregation has changed over to the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
We, not only me, even my church members accepted this truth and started to believe, and now as a family, as a whole church, we have accepted this truth and took baptism in this remnant church. Now our church is a Seventh-day Adventist church. Whenever there is a big revival meeting in our church, there are people always ready for baptism. 5, 6, 7 people are there accepting Jesus, and they are coming forward to take baptism.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, that is really, makes it all worthwhile, really.
Power of the gospel.
Yeah. And it's so neat how Susanna, who we just saw, was a part of doing the Bible studies with him and his wife, and and a part of being leadership or
bringing him into the truth.
Right.
But his excitement of hearing this truth is so refreshing, because you know he's not in it for the money. He's in it for the gospel. And the stories that he has told me, which I can't share publicly, I mean, there are amazing, mind-blowing miracles that took place in his life as he stood for the gospel.
Wow. It is so neat. It is so neat to see, and to do it wisely like that, and to do it, to be willing to go slowly for the sake of others, to have time to take in the gospel truth.
Yes.
I think that shows a lot of humility and a lot of wisdom. He wasn't willing to say, well, I know it and I'm going for it, and I don't care about the rest of you.
Right.
You know, he said, I'm learning it. I'm going to keep learning it and see where this goes.
He's got a true pastor's heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the church. This is a congregation that was there the Sabbath that we were there, and it was a high Sabbath, because we were baptizing the very last of his church that were Pentecostals and now are becoming Seventh-day Adventists.
Wow.
And we got to be part of that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he and his wife are so excited about learning not only the Sabbath, but the three angels' message, state of the dead, all these things that we hold as dear truths. This is the angle from where I was sitting in Sabbath school. And I thought it'd be fun, since we're in India now, together with our viewers, to play a little bit of music from India.
Okay.
Just to give you a feel for what it's like in Sabbath school.
Okay, here we go.
So that was Sabbath school special music, and now here is church special music.
Okay.
For me, I didn't understand what the music was saying. I didn't understand the words. Look around and people were just really moved by this style. And can you imagine me trying to sing in that style? I mean, I would sing in the style that I'm used to that would move me, but it may not move them like these two people moved the audience. So this is the advantage that the locals have, the local Bible worker has over the foreigners. That doesn't mean there's no place for the foreigners, but it's more of a cooperative role.
Right.
And it's beautiful in places where this is possible.
Right.
Yeah.
So after the service there, in the afternoon, you went to another church for the baptism?
Yeah, because the first church didn't have a baptismal tank.
Okay.
So we went to this church, and they built the baptismal tank underneath the rostrum.
Okay, so they're holding up the lid in this picture so that people can be baptized.
Correct. So here we are doing the baptism.
Amen.
And I don't know about you, darling, but for some reason, even at my age, every time I see a baptism, it brings a tear to my eye.
Me too. And hearing them sing, I don't know how to speak that song or how to speak the language, but I know the tune of that song. And it's, "Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb?" And it gets me every time.
I know.
Every time.
Now, this lady, I found out, was a widow. And her kids were kind of grown up, but she was going to suffer hardship becoming an Adventist because her family was against her. So I'm really praying, and I told our workers, you have to make sure that she learns a trade like sewing or something where she can become a tailor and support herself as an Adventist.
So the two ladies that are in the picture with her, on our right is Christina, who works with us, and on our left is Sharon, who also works with us here in our office.
Yes.
They got to go to India, and we're hoping to have them on the show soon so that they can share stories that they saw and witnessed firsthand as well.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, very much. So this picture is a picture of all of the baptismal candidates, along with the pastor and his wife, correct?
Yes, the pastor's on the far right and his wife is on the far left.
Okay, all the baptismal candidates are in between.
In the middle, yes.
Okay.
So, exciting day.
Yes, and it's so neat for this pastor and his wife. They just love Jesus and they love the truth.
Yes.
So.
Very sold out for the truth.
Yes.
Now this pastor, who's so dedicated and so powerful in his ministry, is now a Jesus for Asia Bible worker.
Wow. Wow, that shows a lot of humility.
Yeah, humility and a heart for souls.
Yes.
And to think that you can sponsor a person like this.
Yes.
You know, while I'm sleeping, they're working.
That's true. That's true. Well, if you would like to sponsor a Bible worker like one of these we have met today, please contact us at Jesus for Asia, P.O. Box 1221, Collegedale, Tennessee 37315. Call us at 423-413-7321 or visit our website at jesusforasia.org. Most of all, please lift these Bible workers up to God in prayer. And may God richly bless you until we see you again next time on Jesus for Asia Now.